take this opportunity to tell you that I really appreciate what you do. And as a new principal in Alleghany County Schools, the first board meeting I went home thinking we all have the same priorities in regard to students and teachers. So I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate working for you. Last year, we had a school improvement leadership committee at CMS who worked really hard in getting the staff to start thinking about the possibility of moving away from block scheduling, which is essentially 4 90-minute blocks of the day for core classes, 3 core classes and exploratories, and moving toward something like a 6, 7, or 8 period day where students would experience shorter time periods in the classroom in each day and be able to possibly take more exploratory classes and also have science and social studies with more time throughout the year. Because right now, our 8th grade civics and social studies, civics and science classes are 45 minutes for the year. And for science, they cannot get lab experiments in, and it's very much a big concern for me. And they recognized that last year. They also recognized that our 6th and 7th grade social studies and science teachers had to cram everything into a semester, 90-minute blocks. But when you do the math, and if you have 60-minute periods for the whole year, you get 3 weeks more of instruction compared to a 90-minute semester course. So our science and social studies are suffering, but their SOL scores in 8th grade still stand out, which amazes me. But a large group of staff last year very interested in moving toward this. When I came in, I took it a little slowly. I wanted to make sure that the majority of the staff saw the benefit of moving to a different type of bell schedule next year. Try to make it transparent and talk to a lot of teachers, opened it up at our faculty meetings, and I then created a bell schedule, which they really needed to see. They couldn't visualize it necessarily, and we went to a 6-period day because each class now is 63 minutes, and I think that's really wonderful. We've managed to work in our enrichment and remediation period called Falcon Time, which will also be 63 minutes. Right around lunch, there's one class that's 66 minutes long and one class that's 61, I believe. So right around lunch, we can't help it. We run 3 lunches during the 3rd period. But it's looking good, and teachers, when they saw it, they really reacted positively to it. I've also gotten the master schedule already set for next year, who's teaching what and when, and that's on a board in my office, so it's very easy to visualize, and I've invited teachers in, and I've had many of them in and out throughout the week, and we have a chance to talk together and brainstorm what their schedule will look like. Very excited about the changes, and I guess really I'm just wanting to know if you all have questions or if there's anything I can answer for you in regard to specifics that you see here.
Well, when I met with the staff towards the end of last year, they already had a schedule in mind that they were looking to meet, and I asked them to wait until the new principal came in to work with the new principal. And a couple of advantages of the 6-period day. One is it builds in remediation and enrichment into the program. That's hard to do during a school day. We're actually looking at the high school schedule as well to see how we can revamp and take a look at that schedule as well. It also it gives the opportunity for middle school students to take more electives, classes that they want to see if they want to take as we look towards the career model, so we can start counseling our students in what careers to get into. Hopefully we can expand that elective program so that they have opportunities to take more classes to see what they're like, so when they hit that 9th grade. The other is we're looking at down the road is if we get into the revamping the high school, what it looks like when we do internships and different opportunities for our seniors, maybe a couple of those classes that take as freshmen now they can take at the middle school and get high school credit as well. Now we haven't got the complete package put together related to that, and that would happen over a couple of years. But the research also shows for middle school students, the majority of the research shows that at the middle school level, students learn better under in a shorter period of time than the 95-minute classes that we had this year. So, and so this encouraged the staff and Ms. Crandall to look at the schedule and come up with what they thought would work, and so we're excited about making that change. I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Are you thinking about adding some through CTE type
Yes.
exposure to students. And I think that's wonderful because you've got to start early. And I know we're encouraged to start that actually K through 12 with a CTE. So it'd be nice if we could expose them, especially in middle school.
One of the things we taught, I know that Ms. Crandall's worked with Ms. Hobbs on looking at what CT classes that we can offer so that they get the requirements are in. This year may not be as expansive as I would like, but get our feet wet next year, and then as we're going through, we can expand it. The other is, it's really neat with the, every 3 weeks, I think the plan is to look at the enrichment program and the remediation program. So a student may be in there for remediation for 3 weeks, catch back up, and they can take an enrichment class for 3 weeks. And so teachers then also get to teach something that they thoroughly enjoy to teach. And so student, then at that point, they can do other things as well. So,
And we're doing that this year.
yes.
I wanted to add, if you go to page 6, you can see what we added to Mr. Morgan's schedule and to Mr. Bradley. We added for 8th graders, make it a business. That's a choice that they can take. For 6th graders, gateway to technology, and for 8th graders for Mr. Morgan, career investigations. So some very different classes.
Page 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, under, starts with Crutchfield at the top. Those are exported. So we definitely expanded what students can take. We have course, all grade levels, art, all grade levels, band, all grade levels. That wasn't necessarily the case in
This past year.
yeah.
Any questions?
So what concerns have been raised?
Concern was the electives, different electives being taken, the amount of time that students weren't always on task, weren't learning in classrooms what they needed to learn. And staff, some of the staff are here. I'm sure they could answer some of the questions as well.
Math teachers have had some concerns, and we figured out how to, because we have period 1 and period 2 is Falcon time. We have Algebra 1 being taught still at high school. At the middle school. And that teacher in particular was concerned about dropping down to a 63-minute period because she had kids 90 minutes a day all year. So if we run her Algebra 1 sections, period 1 and period 3, we can back them into we can put them in Falcon time so they can get 90 minutes. That's the beauty about this schedule. So we can run some 90-minute blocks if we really need to, and I think we do in that case, just for a year for her to get her pacing and curriculum under her belt. And so we're looking at that period for some play too with classes that might need to be longer. But the good thing is that they'll still get some enrichment if they need it, or remediation, whatever we're running, because there'll be an extra half an hour there for Falcon time for them. So that worked out really well.
When block scheduling was designed, it was designed to take 8 classes a year, okay? What we have done both at the high school and at the middle school is we have, instead of doing the 8 classes, we've taken and put kids in 90 minutes all year, okay? And so at the high school, they may only pick up, say, 6 classes. At the middle school, less than that. And so that was the design, okay? It became the norm to do that instead of the exception, okay? We should have some kids that are going to need more time in there, and it allows Ms. Crandall and the staff to decide which students may need that extra time in those classes to be successful. The norm should be for have those students to take a block class 90 minutes for 1 semester, or all year for 63 minutes. And so it's going back to the norm. That's challenging our kids, okay? It's not, as the word used to be, dumbing down the curriculum. And so, again, the research shows this. One of the ways we as educators try to fix